Huh. I suppose I could probably put more hours into this. I'm back again. I decided I should probably give Liza P a bit more hours because that game was better than expected. I only put an hour and a half. Yeah, that entire video idea was flawed. Did I make that video? Correct. Was it a video of all time? Yes. I mean, I had a fun time during my hour and a half, but like, this game needed a couple more hours. So, I gave it the same treatment that I did with Code Vein, where I gave it a fair shot. I think, like, I have a solid 6 to 8 hours in the game now, and I think I I have a decent opinion of the game now. So I think it's fair to talk about it one more time. So I went over some of this in my first video, but we're gonna do a quick recap now. Liza P, game, you're a puppet, stuck in a world where puppets overran humans because of some sort of plague, and you have to go around just fighting and, you know, saving people. That seems like a pretty generic plot. It's a Souls-like game based in, it looks like something to do with like an English place, like Bloodborne. It's like the Bloodborne atmosphere, but puppets and oil instead of blood for the most part. Overall, it's a pretty good dark atmosphere, but that's not what I really want to talk about. I want to get to the juicy stuff. I want to talk about the bosses that I encountered during this. Brief overview. I mean, if you watch the first video, you'll see that I fought 2 bosses in the beginning. We'll talk about them again. That'd be the Circus Master and the, I don't remember his name. He was the big puppet guy with electricity. He was really annoying. But now that I played the game more, I fought a couple more mini-bosses, and I fought the big fire golem, and I fought a giant blob mess thing. Didn't like him. So, 4 bosses if you want to count the tutorial boss. But yeah, they were pretty interesting. And for the actual bosses, we're going to start with the fire golem guy, because he was a very fun fight, and I would like to introduce the 2 new bosses first, rather than, and we'll go back to the 2 other ones I covered in the last video afterwards. We'll talk about them for a little bit, but let's introduce you to the fire golem. And on to this fire golem I've been talking about, also known as his actual name, King's Flame Fuoco. I hope I pronounced that right. This fight was relatively easy. I will note, in the footage you are going to see, there is a summon here. I didn't mean to summon them. There was a bowl outside that I used. I didn't know what it did, and now I have an ally for this fight. I didn't win this run anyways, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I am trying to do this without summons. Just for my own, like, it's my own ego. But yeah, this fight was still relatively easy, especially if you do it the correct way. For the majority of my playthrough, I'm actually playing this game in what I would call incorrectly. Well, it's not really what it wants you to do. You need to actually, like, be up there and block more. It's not just a dodge roll Souls game. That's what I was trying to play it like it was just Elden Ring. This game is just not Elden Ring, and I had to come to that realization in the next boss, because that ends up being like a skill check in a way. But this boss is cool. This boss has a nice design. I like its clunky movements. It makes it really fit in with the robot aesthetic. And spoiler alert, its second phase is very annoying because 1, he like overheats and explodes, and 2, he has a gun now that he can use. So trying to play at range and play your time is a big pain in the ass. But you gotta get in there and you can fight him like a normal person. His sweep attacks are slow, his regular attacks are relatively slow, pretty easy to block. Unless you're this guy. This guy's stupid. But yeah, King's Flame Fuoco, pretty solid fight. I don't really have any real complaints with this one. I think I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, because the design is still a bit basic, but I was pretty happy with the fight. Oh, and FYI, yes, I did win this battle, and here's the clip of me doing it just to prove I did. Okay, you know what? Not too bad, not too bad. That was like, what, 5 attempts? Addressing what you keen-eyed viewers might have noticed, I am wearing a different outfit now. You get more outfits in the game. I don't exactly know. You just unlock them in random places You just pick them up like their armor sets. But like from what I know, they don't actually change any of your physical stats. But this is who I am now. Say hello to the Rat Man, or Mouse, whatever you prefer. But I like the Rat Man, and I totally got this outfit through ethical means. Yeah, let's go with that. It was totally naturally acquired, found just randomly on a corpse. Oh man, guess it's mine now. Eat my fucking dick. Wait, why can't I? There you go. You should be dead. Yeah, fuck you. You're a bitch. Oh, wait. Drip. But yeah, you can customize your outfit. There's just tops and bottoms. It's pretty simple, and I don't think they change anything gameplay-wise, but they look cool. And this is what I'm wearing now. Now, with my my drip of choice out of the way, let's move on to the next boss. This one took a long time. This was by far the hardest I faced here. This was the big skill check of the game. His name was Fallen Archbishop Andreas, I think. It was something along the lines of that, or maybe that's it. This was a 2-phase boss fight. One phase, you have to fight the beast form, and then second phase, beast form gains a tail guy. That's also another bishop, or maybe that's the main body. I don't quite know. But this boss fight was a pain in the ass. He's a giant blob monster. Cool design. And it's also the first boss that we fight that isn't either an NPC, a robot, or a puppet. So that's pretty cool. He gets bonus points for that. But this boss fight was annoying. It actually gave me a challenge. So, I mean, like, in a way, I kind of like it for that. It teaches you really that you have to block in this game, besides just dodging. You need to block, you need to parry, you need to do all that. You can't just ignore it. That's what I tried to do for the majority of my attempts at the beginning. I tried to just dodge it, dodge roll, you know, Dark Souls. But you just can't play the game like that, and this boss fight really goes to show you that. He inflicts a debuff as well, which makes it even more annoying. He's pretty tanky, pretty challenging fight overall. Decent design, kind of ugly. I can't really complain though, like it's interesting. He has the same couple like attack patterns. His attack patterns, like after you do him a couple times, you kind of get used to them, and you just get used to the clunky hitboxes. So you can like easily do this no hit after like enough attempts. But yeah, this is a solid boss fight, I must say. I think I preferred it over Fuoco, but like I think I'll still give it around like an 8.5 out of 10 because it didn't really surprise me too much. It was just like it felt like it went on for a bit too long, but his design was cool, and I liked that there was a second phase and the cutscenes were cool. It was just an annoying fight, so I can't rate it a 10 out of 10. Like, I couldn't fully enjoy it. But yeah, this is a solid fight. Oh, fuck yes. Alright. Next up on the list of things to talk about. Oh, right. Yep. Get rid of this. That's out of here. Oh, we're talking about weapons again. Now, if any of you have watched the first video, I know I keep bringing it up, but my first bit of the playthrough, all I did was play with this like, wimpy sword. It was just small, like I forget what it was called, but like it was stupid. It was a bad little weapon because I usually like the light weapons in Souls-like games because they swing fast, and that's usually what I'm into. But like this game is completely different. The small weapons feel like they have no range, and they feel very clunky and awkward to use. So I did what any normal person would do. And I used my dumb monkey brain, and I decided, let's go with a fucking big weapon. Big weapons look cool. And man, that was the best decision I have ever made in this game. The greatswords in this game feel so good to use. They don't just feel like they're gonna do a shit ton of damage and stagger, and then you have like infinite windows. They actually swing fast, and they don't do a shit ton of stagger damage. Well, from what I know of. But they're super fun to use. They feel clean. They feel proper. This is how well, not really how a greatsword should feel, but like, this is a great weapon. I just found one lying around that's like a split part. It has a cool, like a buster blade on it, and it has like a fucking rocket propulsion for a handle. So sick. I love it so much. If any of you do end up playing this game, I highly recommend using greatswords. They make the game so much more fun. The weapon durability system in this game, yada yada, you use the grindstones to heal your weapon, but there's other grindstones that you use to actually like enhance your weapon with like some sort of effect, like a fire effect. That's what I did. Would recommend. Do not skip out on those if you play this game. They added these functions to the game and it makes the game so much more enjoyable. Moving on, or more so going back to talk about the first two bosses in the game. Back in the original video, you saw me fight the Parade Master and the Scrapped Watchman, I think his name is. Those two boss fights don't really have too much to say about them. They're interesting bosses. The Parade Master is very easy. It was like second try for me. It should have been first try, but I choked. No! Oh, I almost first tried it. And the Scrap Watchman took me like, I think around 6 or 7 attempts. It wasn't too bad either. They're pretty much like tutorial bosses. They're relatively simple. They have simple movesets. They move quite slowly and they have pretty small health bars. So like, there's not too much to say about them. They're both solid bosses in their own right. Like, I think they introduce you to the game very well. They do a good job at what they're supposed to do. So I think I'd put both of them in like the same group. And I think let's put them around like, they were like a 7 out of 10. Alright, now I think I've kind of went into detail with everything I really wanted to talk about in this video. There's one thing I did miss with the combat system, and it's like your robot arm thing. But if I'm being real, I didn't use it too much, so like I didn't really want to talk about it here, because I don't know enough about it. But like you can get different effects on it, like there's a fire one, there's an electric one. I was using a shield one at one point. I don't quite know what it does. I don't know what it's fully capable of, I just didn't use it enough. It looks like a cool concept, though. But, my overall thoughts of the game. Now, obviously, disclaimer, I didn't finish the game, but I did get to a major turning point in the game. And the game is super fun, and it's a Souls-like game. And if you go into it expecting a one-for-one copy of Dark Souls, that's not what you're going to get. This game is completely different in its own way. Like, the beginning, it feels very similar. But, like, it feels almost like you take every single Soulsborne game, Soulsborne, Sekiro, all that, and you like combine them together into just one big game, and you think that'd be a mess, but no, this game's actually pretty well designed. I don't think I have many complaints with it, honestly. Like, everything's pretty good. I like the soundtrack, I like the visuals, I like the actual gameplay of it. My one big complaint, I have like 2 complaints. One, leveling up your healing seems to be pretty annoying or out of the way, because I just played this casually, not looking things up. And I could not find a way to like really, I got an extra charge, I think, once. That's about it. And 2, some levels are very confusing on where you have to go. Like, when I was going to that apostle guy, the second boss I showed in this video, I just was lost for so long in a linear game because there was a staircase I couldn't see. And honestly, that's more of a nitpick, honestly. I can't really like take too much from the game. That's also a skill issue on my part. That's pretty much all my only negatives I really found with the game. I'm definitely going to play more. I want to finish this game for sure. And it was super fun. I'm giving this like, it's getting a 9 out of 10. I do think I like the regular Soulsborne series better. But like, how can you top From Software? Like, honestly, those are masterpieces. But yeah, that's it for the video, I think. Thank you all again for watching all the way through, if anyone's here. And I'll be seeing you next time.